Hey guys, Rick with Let's Level Up, and I'm very excited to bring you Awesome Level 9000, AEG's first expansion to the game Smash Up. If you're not familiar with what Smash Up is, it's a competitive card game for 2 to 4 players where you combine geek archetypes into, you combine 2 geek archetypes into a deck, and then you use that deck to play against your enemies to score bases, or basically smash bases. It's not a direct combat, my characters versus your characters. It's both of our characters against a certain base. However, I'm going to play cards and you're going to play cards to prevent me from scoring, and vice versa. This is a very, very fun game. It's cheap. The core set, I believe, is $25. This expansion somewhere in the neighborhood of $12 to $18, depending on where you order it. This is actually ready to play for 2 people, so you don't need the core set to get into Smash Up. Very cool. I would recommend, though, because there are some definitely some synergy you can get with getting the core set. This is very, very good. What we'll do is we'll actually open this up and take a look inside and get to know some of the new factions. We're talking Bear Cavalry, Steampunk, Plants, and Ghosts. Thanks as always. Game on. As I was saying, Smash Up is the expansion pack. Awesome Level 9000 is the expansion pack to Smash Up, and this introduces 4 new factions. So let's pop open this box and look at what we have inside. First thing you're going to see is the rule booklet. This actually includes everything you need to get started, because again, this is a starter. You can actually play this with 2 players right out of the box without having the core set. One thing I love about the rule booklet is that it's very easy to read. It teaches the rules in a way that's non-taxing whatsoever for the player. This is actually something I was really happy to see. Now we have tokens to count our points. So before, if you're keeping them on a die or just in your head, like I was doing, here's a way for you to more tangibly keep track of things. I like the tokens. They fit with the theme. They look nice. And then finally, we've got our 4 factions: Bear Cavalry, Spirits or Ghosts, Plants, and Steampunk. So let's pop these guys open and take a look at what's inside. I'm going to go ahead and unpackage these, have a seat, and then we'll dive in together. Okay, so what we're going to do is take a look deck by deck and see some of the strengths and potential weaknesses that each of these new 4 factions are going to bring in regards to the core base deck. I'd like to keep in mind that there are going to be a lot of different combinations here, so I wouldn't say that viewing this video is going to make you an expert on the game, because I myself am definitely not an expert on the game. I do like to play it, and I win sometimes, which helps, but I'm more concerned of just the potential combinations of things like plants and zombies rather than plants versus zombies, or bear, cavalry, and dinosaurs, which to me sounds absolutely frightening. Along with the 4 factions, you're going to have 2 new bases per faction, so that's 8 new bases. They've also gone through and reprinted all of the original bases here to enhance the artwork as far as the text goes. So no longer is there just one line of really small print letting you know what the base does. They've increased the font size here at the bottom, which makes it a lot easier to read. Definitely has a benefit there. Also, with these tokens, it's going to be easier to keep track of the points. One thing that I will mention as a correction to my previous Smash Up video, or how bases actually get smashed. So bases are smashed not when, bases get smashed after the turn of the player finishes, as far as they lay down their cards. I had originally said as soon as the base's breakpoint is met, that base is immediately smashed. That's not the case. It's after that base gets smashed, whoever turn it is that smashed it will finish playing the rest of their cards that they have available, and then you will look to see what bases need to be scored. And it'll be up to that player to determine, if there are multiple bases, which base is scored first. So that's when the different pirate abilities and ninja abilities like that allow you to maneuver around the board happen. So it's a way to prevent the chaos that would happen. Trust me, I know. If you try to score the base immediately and then everything that happens after that. So that's just one clarification. Now let's take a little bit closer look at these different cards. So the first deck we're going to take a look at are plants. Now the book describes plants as a minion type that actually gets stronger the longer they're left on the table. So the longer that they're out there, the more fearsome they're going to become. You're going to note the plants by the nice plant icon here in the bottom right corner. So the first minion we're going to look at is Sprout. And what Sprout does allows you to destroy this card at the start of your turn, and you may search your deck for a minion of power 3 or less and play it as an extra minion, then shuffle your deck. So Sprout can be potentially very powerful, and you're going to get 4 copies of that in this deck. The next is going to be Water Lily, the minion of power 3, and allows you to draw a card at the start of each of your turns. Only use Water Lily's ability once per turn. And I believe you're going to get 3 Water Lilies base. The next card is going to be Weed Eater. It's a minion of power 5. And this minion actually starts out with -2 power the turn you play it. And this is one of the ones that's going to get stronger as it goes up. There are 2 copies of Weed Eater. The next one is an action. It's called Budding. It allows you to play, choose a minion I have in place, and then search your deck for a copy of that card and place it into your hand, and then shuffle your deck. So this allows you to basically copy a minion that you have out there currently. Next is Venus Mantrap. It's a level 5 minion, and this allows you to search your deck for a minion of power 2 or less and then play it as an extra minion, then shuffle your deck. Overgrowth. This is one of my favorite actions in the expansion, one I was really freaking out about whenever the game first was announced. You play on a base, it's ongoing. At the start of your next turn, reduce the breakpoint of this base to 0. So this is an instant break a base card. Play up to 3 minions that all have the same name. Blossom. Choking Vines. Play on a minion. At the start of your turn, destroy this minion. Deep Roots. Play on a base. Your minions here cannot be moved or returned to your hand by other players' abilities. Sleep Spores. Play on a base. Ongoing. Other players' minions have a -1 power here, minimum power of 0. There are 2 copies of Sleep Spores. Then Insta Grow, you get to play an extra minion. Entangled, play on a base. Minions may not be moved or returned to hands from any base where you have a minion. Destroy this card at the start of your turn. So that's it for plants. As you can see, plants here are going to pose people a lot of problems. One of the things I was concerned with was balancing between the expansion packs that are going to come out and what the core set already has. So I don't think we're going to have to worry too much about that with Austin level 9000, but a lot of these decks seem pretty powerful, especially when you combine them with other decks that are going to be very synergy, or that have a lot of synergy with the plants. Okay, the next faction we're going to take a look at are the Ghosts. Ghosts are interesting because Ghosts actually get stronger the fewer cards that you have in your hand, which is something that could be potentially very devastating if you have a other faction with it that promotes cycling, like Wizards, or maybe even Zombies, actually. Something that allows you to play a lot of cards at the same time. Robot Ghosts, another one that comes to mind that could be just lethal. Here we have the Ghost. The Ghost allows you to discard a card from your hand, and you're going to get 4 copies of Ghost. The next is Spirit. Choose a minion, and you can discard cards equal to its power in order to destroy it. You're going to get 3 copies of Spirit. The next is Haunting. This is a minion of power 3, and it actually, if I have 2 or few cards in my hand, this minion has a +3 power and cannot be affected by other players' cards. Very powerful. You get 2 of those. Its level 5 minion is the Spectre. If you have 2 or fewer cards in your hand, anytime you can play a minion, you can play this card from your discard pile instead. Very powerful. The Dead Rise. Discard any number of cards. Play an extra minion from your discard pile with power less than the number of cards you discarded. Shady Deal. If you have 2 or fewer cards in your hand, gain 1 victory point. Ghostly Arrival. You may play an extra minion and or extra action. Incorporeal. Play on one of your minions ongoing. This minion is not affected by other players' cards. I love the artwork on these cards. It's just awesome. Oh, another copy of Ghostly Arrival and another copy of Incorporeal. Make Contact. You can only play this card if you have at least is the last card in your hand. You play on a minion. Treat this minion as if it was yours while it has this card and are in play. Door to the Beyond. Play on a base. If you have 2 or fewer cards in your hand, each of your minions here has +2 power. Seance. If you have 2 or fewer cards in your hand, draw until you have 5 cards. Interesting. Across the Divide. Choose a card name. Place any number of minions with that name from your hand, from your discard pile into your hand. Sorry, I'm moving here and getting things out of focus. So that's it for Ghost. As you can tell, a lot of it has to do with getting rid of the cards that you have in order to buff these minions up. It seems like you have some very, very interesting combinations of factions here to play with. I like them. The next faction we're going to take a look at are actually the Steampunks, and I wasn't too terribly excited, but after looking through some of these cards, I can actually see how this is going to be a really fun faction to play. This faction has a lot of action synergy, and what I mean by that is if you're unfamiliar with Smash Up, there are 2 types of cards. There are minions and there are actions. A lot of the minions have to deal or have their powers increased or have a special ability that promotes either keeping actions in play, playing additional actions, or if an action is already in play to do something. Such as Captain Ahab. He's a level 2, a 2 power minion, and its ability, it has a talent. It can move this minion to a base that has one of your actions played on it. And you're going to get 4 copies of Captain Ahab. The next one is going to be Steam Man. It has +1 power if this base has one of your actions played on it. You get 3 copies of Steam Man. 2 mechanics. Choose an action in your discard pile that can be played on a base and play it as if it was an extra action. Pretty incredible. Finally, Steam Queen is a level 5 minion here. Your actions are not affected by other players' cards. It's going to keep all of your actions safe when the Steam Queen comes out. Acromotive is an action. Play on a base. If you have a minion here, you have +5 power here. Zeppelin. Play on a base. Talent. Move one of your minions from another base to here, or from here to another base. Wait for those minions to get around. Scrap Diving. Place an action from your discard pile into your hand. 2 copies of that. Rotary Slug Thrower. Play on a base. Your minions here have +2 power. Difference Engine. Play on a base. Ongoing. If you have a minion here, draw an extra card at the end of your turn. Change of Venue. I was having a hard time actually reading that font. I was wondering if that G was a C or not. No, it looks like a G. Place one of your actions that is on a base or a minion into your hand. Play it again as an extra action. Interesting. Ornate Dome. Destroy all other players' actions here. Actions played here. Ongoing, other players cannot play actions on this base. Escape Hatch. Play on a base. When your minions here are destroyed, place them into your hand instead of the discard pile. That's it for Steampunks. This actually seems like a pretty powerful core faction. I think would actually play very nicely with pirates is what I'm thinking off the top of my head. Or dinosaurs. You know, something with big beefy minions. Alright, the final faction we're going to look at here are the Bear Cavalry, and this is actually one that I was most looking forward to, and they really haven't disappointed as far as looking at these cards go. Bear Cavalry is kind of like the dinosaurs. There's a lot of really big, powerful minions here, and their actions kind of help support that. And I really enjoy the artwork here. Whoever does the artwork for these cards, I should probably look it up. Oh, illustrations by Gong Studios and AEG. So whoever the guys there at Gong Studios and AEG that are responsible for this, kudos, because I love them. Okay, so the first minion we're going to look at are the Cub Scout. After another player's minion moves here, if it has less power than this minion, destroy it. It's a level 3, and this is actually the weakest minion in the Bear deck. You're going to get 4 of those guys. The next are actually the Bear Cavalry. Move another player's minion from here to another base. That's another power 3, and you're going to get 3 of those. Next, we've got the Polar Commandos. Ongoing, if this is your only minion on this base, it has +2 power and cannot be destroyed. You get 2 copies of that. And finally, a 6 strength General Ivan. Ongoing, your minions cannot be destroyed. Okay, you're pretty much borscht. Choose a base where you have a minion. Move all other players' minions from there to one other base. That could be awesome. You're screwed. Choose a base where you have another minion, where you have a minion. Move another player's minion from there to another base. I love that artwork. 2 copies of You're Screwed. Bears Ride You. That's awesome. Bears Ride You. Move one of your minions to another base. Bear Hug. Each other player destroys his or her minion with the least power. Owner chooses in case of ties. High Ground. Play on a base ongoing. You have a minion here. If you have a minion here, destroy any other player's minion that moves here. Superiority. Play on a base. Your minions here cannot be destroyed, moved, or returned to your hand or deck by other players' cards. Commission. Play an extra minion and then move another player's minion from the extra minion's base to another base. 2 copies of Commission. Bear Necessities. Destroy an action that has been played on a minion or base. And that's it for the bears. So Smash Up Awesome Level 9000 is going to bring you quite a bit of entertainment. And if you're already a fan of Smash Up, I don't know why you already don't have Awesome Level 9000. Pick it up. It's not that expensive, and it actually is going to bring you a whole lot of fun in the end. Hope you liked watching this video. If you have, please subscribe to our channel at letslevelup.net on YouTube. You can follow us on Twitter at Let's Level Up, as well as Google Plus and Facebook. As always, thank you so much, and game on.